everyone, Vincenzo here with a new ukulele tutorial. This week, let's learn how to play my favorite riff by Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name. I still remember the day I listened to this song for the first time. I immediately liked it and I've been playing this song for ages, so it was definitely time for me to arrange it on the ukulele. As you can see, for this tutorial I'm using my low G ukulele, but this arrangement works also on a ukulele in standard tuning. The idea behind this is to capture the essence of the song, and so whilst it's very close to the original version, it is not 100% the same, and it's in another key so that it works better on the ukulele. The riff is divided into 5 simple parts, although in reality you can say there are really 3 main parts. Anyway, let's start with the first one, but before doing that, let me remind you to subscribe to the channel. I don't like to say these things, but it will really help me if you do, and it doesn't cost you anything. So you start with the open 4th string and fret number 2 on the 3rd string at the same time, and you strum down. This is a G5. When I'm strumming, I'm hitting all the strings of the ukulele, but the first 2 strings are muted. You see? You don't have to do this, but it sounds cooler if you do. Then you carry on and you have 0, 2 and 3. Just a slightly different way of playing G5. Each chord lasts for 4 beats. Let me put everything together. 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. And this was section A. If you download the tabs from my Patreon page, you will see that each section is clearly labeled to make it as easy as possible for you to learn this riff. Now let's work on section B. This is actually the bass part, but I include it in the arrangement because really the idea is for you to play this riff on your own. You're gonna need G5 again, so 0 and 2, and A flat 5, so 1 and 3. You strum everything down and the rhythm goes like this. 3, 4, and again G5, A flat 5. Pay attention to the fact that I was palm muting. To do that, you rest the palm of your right hand over the bridge of the ukulele, so that it sounds tighter. Another important point is that you have to stop the sound between each strum. In fact, if you look at the score, you will see there are rests in between each strum. So you want this instead of. I know there isn't a huge difference, but if you want to sound closer to the original version, make sure that after each chord you stop the strings. I'm using the fingers of my left hand to stop the G5 from ringing out, you see? And when I'm stopping the A flat 5, I'm simply lifting lightly the fingers that are pressing on the fretboard, like this. Anyway, this part is repeated twice. Let's play it. 3, 4... Now let's see what happens next. So section C starts with the usual G5 and you have the same rhythm as before. But this time there's no palm muting, and so here it's even more important to stop the sound between each strum. After that you have 6, 7 and 7, 8. To play this, I'm actually strumming all the strings of the ukulele, but I only let those notes ring out. This technique is called left hand muting, but you can simply do this and it will still work. By the way, the symbol that looks like an M means downstroke and the one that looks like a V upstroke. To clarify, if you decide to go for a more fingerstyle approach rather than strumming everything, use the thumb for the 4th and the 3rd string, the index for the 2nd one and the middle finger for the 1st one. Now let's put this together. 3, 4. One more time. 3, 4. This is repeated 3 times, and the 4th time you have a small variation. You play 6 and 7, as you did before, but then you have a whole tone bend from 8, and then back to 8. If you can't bend, you can play fret 10 and then fret 8, like this. Now let me play the entire section C. 3, 4. Okay, time to have a look at section D. Here you repeat more or less what you played in section B. So you have G5 and A flat 5 in measure 9, but without palm muting. And of course, if possible, try to stop the sound between each strum. Then in measure 10 you have G5 3 times as always, and then one big A flat 5. To make it sound bigger, you add the 4th fret on the 2nd string. All together, 3, 4, and again 3, 4. Now let's play the entire section D. 3, 4. And now let's move to the last and probably coolest part of this riff. The first thing to notice here is that the tempo is lower. In the original version they go approximately from 120 BPM to 80. Anyway, you start with the usual G5, and at this point I'm strumming everything, and then you have 5 hammer onto 7, then 2 muted strums, so I'm just resting the fingers of the left hand on the fretboard, and then 6 hammer onto 7, and when you put it together you have 3, 4. One more time, 3, 4. By the way, try to follow the strumming direction I'm using. You end this measure with 7, G5, and then A5, B flat 5, and back to A5. All together, 1, 2, and again, 1, 2. Now let's play the entire measure 11. 3, 4. And again, 3, 4. This is repeated 4 times, and the arrangement ends with a G5. Let's play the entire section E. 3, 4. There you go. Now let's play the arrangement very slowly. 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, time for a play along. The tempo will be 120 BPM, but then when you get to section E, it will slow down to 80. Anyway, don't worry about it because it will feel quite natural. Anyway, having said that, get ready, you're about to start playing. Before this video ends, let me say a few extra things about this arrangement. First of all, I played this with a clean sound, but I like to use distortion when I play Killing in the Name. Using distortion not only makes it sound cooler, but it can also help you cover minor mistakes. So give it a go. By the way, I recorded a version of this riff with distortion, which you can find on the channel. Then another important thing to mention is that you need quite a few techniques to play this riff. If you're not familiar with them, in this playlist you can find tutorials for all of them. So the aim of this tutorial was to teach an arrangement of Killing in the Name that works for both low G and standard tuning ukulele. On my Patreon page you can find the tabs and the backing tracks that you need for practicing this riff. You have 3 backing tracks, one at the original tempo, one slower and another one even slower. And one more thing, don't forget that if you learned something from this video and you would like to say thank you, you can buy me a coffee, link in the description. That's all for now. Let me know in the comments if you managed to learn this arrangement. And if you want to take your playing to the next level, have a look at my free course here on YouTube and download my free 8-step roadmap, link in the description, that will tell you the exact process to follow to learn the ukulele. Moreover, check out the other links in the description to learn more about the types of classes that are available at the moment. And if you are into this kind of music, check out my tutorial for Enter Sandman by Metallica. Having said that, thank you very much for watching and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next week. Ciao!